How did you guys find year 9 choosing your GCSEs?
I was trying to think about this. I don't really have any memory of how I kind of picked my subjects. Like when I think about like how I picked my A-levels, it was a very difficult decision. I had like pros and cons for each one, and I wrote it all down and I mapped it all out. In year 9, I think I just picked what I wanted to pick.
Yeah.
I don't think I never thought about pros and cons and where this is going to take me after
like
school.
careers.
And do I want to do this A-level? Do I want to do this at university? It was very much just I enjoy this, and I did computer science, and I was told by literally everyone, oh, you're going to hate it, it's the most boring subject. And even some sixth formers at the time said, oh, I used to love it, and I did GCSE and I hated it. I loved it.
Someone told me not to do drama in year 7.
Yeah.
I walked into a classroom and they went, don't take drama GCSE. It is the best to take.
It was the best decision ever.
Like, it's drama.
It's so weird. It was like, I listened to that and I thought, well, I'm going to do what I want to do at the end of the day. And I did computer science, and it was one of my favourites. Absolutely loved it. It was just, picking what I liked.
I think that is a really important piece of advice. Like, when you're choosing your subjects, when it comes to A-levels, GCSEs, just anything to do with, like, courses, do what you enjoy, do what you like. Not always what you're best at, just what you enjoy, and not what people tell you to do. Like, people can give advice and tell you what they think might be best for you or what they found best for them, but when it comes to this, it's very personal. Like, you need to know what's good for you.
And it's also with, like, again, my main influence was my parents.
Yes.
For picking subjects. And my mum was very much like, oh, I think you should have done business because drama is a bit, like, how are you going to make a career in that? And, like, I did want to be an actor for a long time. But I was like, it's very hard to get into. But then now I'm also really enjoying psychology. So that's, like, another option. But I will never regret taking drama at all.
Yeah.
Like,
And drama comes into so many other careers.
It
like
does.
Law, I can't think of any other ones. But
just anything to do with anything you need confidence.
Yeah.
Public speaking.
Yeah, advertisement, even
so
politicians that would have taken drama and gone down that route originally.
Even just self-confidence for yourself and just a way of expression. Like, the arts are so key to how you find yourself, and I know that sounds so cringy and cliche as an art student, but it's a way of expression. So if you either find that through literature, gaming, like computer science, the arts, just anything like that, I would really recommend them. They're really fun.
I would say about subjects as well, the main problem I had with what my parents wanted me to do was they wanted me to do a language, and I ended up doing French. Don't feel pressured to take languages in year 9, because I remember in year 9 we had this assembly where they said, okay, to get this EBAC qualification, you need a humanities subject and you need a language. And they went on and on and on about it, to the point where you have to write a letter, don't you, to say that you don't want to do a language.
You did. It's a good reason.
Yeah, and I felt really pressured to take it, and I hated it. It was like my worst GCSE result.
No hate to people who do enjoy
it,
but
course.
It's personal.
Some people find languages easy. I didn't, and I was definitely pressured into doing it.
As a dyslexic, I struggled so much with languages, and I spoke to Mrs. Kirkham, and she was so helpful, and she completely understood. Because languages aren't always for everyone, and there are so many other options, and yes, you should do it. Like, I encourage you to do it if you can, but I think it's good for people to also know that there are other options.
Definitely. And it's just like, because I took Spanish as a language because I wanted to get that EBAC as well.
So did I.
And I just want to say, don't be afraid of taking foundation, because that literally was the best decision I ever made, and I ended up coming out with a 5, which I think is quite a decent grade for a language. Like, starting to learn a whole new language is really difficult. So I think, if like you want to focus more on your core subjects, definitely take foundation, because it's just less stress and
When it comes to like the sort of grading system in the different classes, it really, I think there's a lot of stigma around it being quite, well, if you're dumb if you're in the lower sort of classes, but it's really not about that.
Sets.
It's about how you learn. So don't feel bad about being in maybe a lower set and your friends being in a higher set, because it's really individual. And also, to touch on careers, I feel like it's very important to also realise that if you're taking something like business and computer science at GCSE, you can go off and do like geography at university and then end up getting like an arts career. Like, you don't have to strictly take your courses from the start to the end, knowing exactly what you want to do the whole time. Like, it's so much more flexible than that.
I'd note as well that like opinions on your subjects will change. I mean, I hated drama in year 7 and 8.
Wow.
Yeah. Started loving it in year 9, and now I'm an actress.
Everything.
Yeah. Now I'm an actress with an agent. It's everything I do. But I think when you're in a school environment, it's not just the subject that you form an opinion on. It's the classroom. It's who is in your class. It's the teacher.
Yeah.
There's so many different external factors that you don't really realise until kind of it comes to picking like your GCSEs and A-levels, and you're like, do I like this class, or is it just that I've got friends in this class and I have this teacher, and next year when you have a different teacher and a whole new set of people, is it still the subject that you like?
Yeah.
I think it was quite difficult, but you do work it out, I think, eventually.
Also, when it comes to year 9s and sort of further on, you get into making your CVs. I think it's in like PSC classes. And so something important for those, extracurriculars, are so important. So things like going to Make Believe, which is like a type of drama club outside of school, are so important to like just put on there as like an extra thing, like if you wanted to go into drama.
Stuff that makes you an individual.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say, stuff to do with leadership is probably the most important thing that you can get for your CV and stuff. Even if it's something like former captain, like if you want to, I did that, and it was on my CV before I got my first job. I had former captain on my CV, and it's a great thing to talk about. I think it shows responsibility. It shows a lot of things. If
just
you
do it.
Yeah,
basically.
if you step up to these challenges and put yourself forward. Yeah.
I did volunteering as part of DAV for like a few months or so, in this charity shop in town, Oxfam, and honestly, just stuff like that, it's so fun, and it's really scary at the start, like volunteering for those sort of things or putting yourself forward for a role. It's really scary, but if you just do it, it's out the way, no one holds on to it, no one's going to be like, oh, you know, that's the person that didn't get the role. It's like, it's not important to people in that sort of sense that they'll hold on to it. So just think about yourself, think what you want to do, and just go and just do it, because there's only 5 years of lower school and we've just finished it. So
it's gone.